What if we told you that there is a new movie coming out in 2024 that will reveal the origins of one of the most badass characters in the Mad Max franchise? A movie that shows how she became the Imperator Furiosa, the war captain who defined Immortan Joe and his army of fanatics. If you're a fan of action-packed adventures in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, then you need to watch this video until the end. So who is Furiosa? Well, she is one of the most iconic characters in the Mad Max franchise, created by George Miller in 1979. She first appeared in Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, as Imperator Furiosa, a war captain under Immortan Joe, but turned against him to free the Five Wives, Joe's female concubines or breeders. She was played by Linda Hamilton in one of her most memorable roles ever. In 2015, Miller brought Furiosa back to life in Mad Max Fury Road as one of the main protagonists alongside Mac Rokitansky. She was played by Charlize Theron, an Oscar-winning performance that earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress. In this film, we see how Furiosa escaped from Immortan Joe's citadel after he killed her lover, Nux, how she rescued the Five Wives from Joe's clutches after they were captured by his war boys, and how she met Max Rokitansky on a road trip across the wasteland after he saved her from being killed by Joe's forces at Fort Zedeckis Sue Barlow, and how she fought against Joe's army with Max and their allies to destroy his war rig and free his people from his tyranny. Furiosa is not only a strong and brave warrior, but also a complex and sympathetic character who has a tragic backstory and a noble goal. She is driven by revenge against Immortan Joe for killing Nux, but also by compassion for his victims who suffer under his rule. She is loyal to her friends, but also independent and resourceful. She is fierce, but also vulnerable and emotional. Furiosa represents many themes and messages that are relevant to our modern society, such as freedom versus oppression, rebellion versus conformity, loyalty versus betrayal, courage versus fearlessness, and love versus hate. She shows us that even in the darkest time of humanity's history, there is still hope for change and redemption. But what about her origins? How did she become Imperator Furiosa? What happened before Fury Road? Well, that's what we're going to find out in the upcoming prequel film, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, which will explore Furiosa's adventures before Fury Road. The film will be directed by George Miller himself, who co-wrote it with Nico Latouris, who also co-wrote Fury Road. The movie is scheduled to be released theatrically in Australia on the 23rd of May in 2024, and in the United States on the 24th of May in 2024 by Warner Bros. Picture this movie will star Anya Taylor-Joy as the title character Furiosa, who was born in a place called the Green Place of Many Mothers. She has a special gift of communicating with animals and plants, but she is kidnapped by a warlord named Dementus, who forces her to join his biker horde. She will face many trials and challenges as she tries to escape from him and find her way back home. Chris Hemsworth will play Warlord Dementus, the main antagonist of the movie. He is a ruthless leader who wants to conquer the Green Place of Many Mothers for his benefit. Tom Burke will play a mysterious character who has not been revealed yet. He might be a friend or a foe of Furiosa, or he might have his own agenda. He might also be related to Immortan Joe or Dementus in some way. Nathan Jones and Angus Sampson will reprise their roles from Fury Road, where they played Rictus Rectus and the Organic Mechanic respectively. Wadden Bales, an 11-year-old boy with dwarfism, will play a small part in this movie. He was also cast by George Miller, the director of the movie, who met him in 2020 and was impressed by his courage and charisma. These are some of the confirmed characters for Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, which is expected to be an epic and thrilling adventure into the wasteland. Here's what we know about the possible or rumored plot for the movie. One possibility is that Furiosa will succeed in finding an oasis in the wasteland, where she will reunite with her family and friends from her tribe. She will also discover why Dementus kidnapped her in the first place, and what he plans to do with her. She will then decide whether to stay with her people or continue her quest for water for Immortan Joe's empire. Another possibility is that Furiosa will fail to find an oasis and will be captured by Immortan Joe or Dementus. She will then be forced to serve them as their slave or weapon, or she will be killed by them. She will also learn more about their motives and goals, and she might even develop some sympathy or respect for them. A third possibility is that Furiosa will find an oasis, but it will be a trap set by Immortan Joe or Dementus. They will use it as bait to lure other tribes and factions into their territory, where they can attack them and take their resources. They will also try to use Furiosa as a bargaining chip or a hostage to gain an advantage over their enemies. Of course, these are just some possible scenarios, and the actual ending of the movie might be different. It might depend on how George Miller, the director of the movie, wants to conclude his version of Furiosa's character arc. Another possibility is that the movie will follow young Furiosa, who was born in a place called the Green Place of Many Mothers. This is a lush and fertile region that is home to many tribes and cultures. Furiosa belongs to one of these tribes, and she has a strong bond with her mother and her sisters. She also has a special gift where she can communicate with animals and plants. One day, when Furiosa is about 16 years old, her tribe is attacked by a group of raiders, led by warlord Dementus. Dementus is a cruel leader who wants to conquer the Green Place of Many Mothers for his benefit. He captures Furiosa and takes her away from her family and friends. Dementus forces Furiosa to join his biker horde, which consists of hundreds of motorcycles and vehicles that roam across the wasteland. He also implants a device into her brain that allows him to control her actions and emotions. He uses her as his slave and weapon, making her fight against other tribes and factions. Furiosa hates Dementus and his horde, but she has no choice but to obey him. She tries to escape several times, but she always fails. She also tries to find out why Dementus chose her as a target, and what he plans to do with her. Meanwhile, in another part of the wasteland, there is a powerful tyrant named Immortan Joe. He rules over a vast empire called Citadel Station, which consists of thousands of people who live under his iron fist. He also has 5 wives who are kept in cages inside his fortress. Immortan Joe is obsessed with finding new sources of water for his people, who are suffering from droughts and famines. He believes that there is a hidden oasis somewhere in the wasteland that holds the key to salvation. He sends out scouts and raiders to search for it. One day, Immortan Joe receives news that Dementus has found something valuable near his territory. A young woman with extraordinary abilities who can talk to animals and plants. Immortan Joe decides that this woman must be one of his wife's daughters since they have a similar feature. He orders Dementus to bring him this woman as soon as possible. He also sends out another scout named Rictus Erectus to track down Dementus' location. Rictus Erectus is an old friend of Immortan Joe's son, Nux, who was killed by Max Rockatansky in Mad Max Fury Road. Rictus Erectus blames Max for Nux's death, and he wants revenge on him. Rictus Erectus follows Dementus' trail across the wasteland until he reaches the Green Place of Many Mothers. There he encounters Furiosa's tribe, who are still resisting Dementus' invasion. Rictus Erectus joins forces with them against Dementus' horde. The battle between Rictus Erectus allies and Dementus' horde is a fierce and bloody one. Many lives are lost on both sides. Amid the chaos, Furiosa manages to break free from Dementus' control and run away from him. She stumbles across Rictus Erectus' camp, where she met some friendly faces, and they tell her that they are fighting against Immortan Joe's tyranny. They also tell her that they've heard rumors about an oasis somewhere in the wasteland. They ask her if she knows anything about it or if she can help them find it. But what do you think about Furiosa? Do you like her as a character? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who love movies as much as you do. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of my future videos.